man, how many times have I told you, if you're gonna use my K-cups, throw it out, throw the box out if you're gonna finish them at least.
Dude, who still uses K-cups? We have a French press. What do you think it's for?
Whatever. What's up, man? Are you wearing my shirt? Okay. Dude, I need that wearing your shirt, dude. I'm about to make a video. Look at those ugly pants you got with it. Look who's talking. Clients, you guys want to find a good videographer, and when you find one, if you find one, how do you know if he's a great videographer, if he's charging you perfect, if the work really qualifies as, you know, professional? How do you know if your videographer is good? Alright, so first off, I just want to say, if you're a filmmaker and you're watching this, my goal for this video is to give these clients insight as to know when they're hiring a good videographer. So if you guys are watching, take notes, because this is very important to the client, and the client matters. When you're doing a project for them, they're hiring you to do something that they want. So that's the first and foremost thing you should get straight just before we begin. Clients, when you're looking for a videographer, the first thing you need to do is take into account how much it's going to cost for this, and understand that they want to impress you, right? You're hiring them to do a phenomenal job for you. And so it's up to them to be honest with you, and let you know if it's something doable for them. All right, and if it is, when they give you this number, however much it's gonna cost, ask them a few questions. How long you've been filmmaking for? Can I see a couple of other things that you've done other than this video? Are you gonna be hiring a crew, or do you have an in-house crew? Because videographers tend to have this habit of doing everything by themselves. Now, well, that's not bad. I'm not saying that's terrible, but it's important to know, because when you hire them for this job, he or she is gonna bring all of their equipment and or a crew with the equipment, you know, depending on the project, what it is. And they taking that into account, that may be the reason why they may be charging you with, you know, anything $1,000 or more, just because they're trying to give you your project what it's worth. Depending on the size of your project, big or small, it all really just depends on what your desire is for that project. If it's going to be a big project, you're going to need hair and makeup artists, you can leave that up to the videographer. However, they're going to tack that onto the charge and charge you a little bit more. If you're going to do that yourself, that's one less thing for them. And you can say, hey, I'm getting my own hair and makeup artist. So if you're bringing a crew, just make sure you don't need to hire one. Keep them updated. Tell them everything you're going to do on your end and everything you expect of them. Because yes, they should come in a professional manner, and in some cases, you know, a crew. However, sometimes videographers, filmmakers don't see eye to eye right off the bat if you're going to be expecting a crew and they're thinking they could do this by themselves, because oftentimes creatives, they spend a lot of money so they can learn it all, so they can edit your video, so they can film the video, so they can set up the lights for your video, and that just means it's going to take more time to do your project, which is perfectly fine. But find that info out from your videographer and understand, you know, the price for what they're quoting you is specifically for your needs. Next, let's talk about where to find a videographer. So when you're looking for a filmmaker, videographer, there's a couple ways to go about it. First off, you can go to social media. You can search videographers near me, find out what they're gonna quote you, because oftentimes their websites won't say how much they're gonna charge, just because that quote depends on the size of your project and how complex it is. Now, sometimes there will be situations where you're doing a very, very big project, but it's not complex. It's not very, very complex. And so it's possible for a filmmaker to charge you someone a lot less because it's a simple project, a lot bigger than another project that's smaller but a lot more complex. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're a music artist, right? And you want to get a music video done. You're thinking about either a music video or a lyric video. You don't know what you want, but you want to hire a videographer to get one of the two done. And the videographer says, okay, so do you want lyric video or music video? It comes time to make that decision. And then you ask, so you know what, can I just get a quote for both? And I'll pick and choose what I decide, what I end up going with. The lyric video, say, is gonna be animated, right? Say you want it to be sleeping on the bed and you're dreaming and lyrics just fly in. Well, because now you're getting visuals of you sleeping on the bed and lyrics flying in, they're animated. It's a lot more complex, right? That's a lot more complex, whereas a normal lyric video is just a blank screen. You might have one or two, cool little visuals in the background, things flying around, and then animated lyrics, but you're taking this videographer's time to make a storyline behind the lyrics flying in. Because of how complex that is, they might quote you like $1,000. Maybe even more, depending on their experience, where it's located at. So those are things to take into account. Now, you ask about the music video, and you say the same thing. I want it to be done in one room, and I don't want a crew because I know it's going to be very expensive if you hire more people. So I just want you can bring your equipment, and I want to do a music video in this room. Well, you're going to shoot a whole music video in one room. And while that is a bigger, that's going to take a lot longer to shoot in person than the lyric video is, it's going to require a lot less people. So at most, they're going to bring like one or two people, and they might be charging you just, to help pay for those one or two people, plus their equipment and experience. And you're going to be saying, why? A music video takes a lot more than a lyric video does. That doesn't make sense. That's because of the complexity of the situation. You're asking for a lot in something very simple versus something simple in a very big, typically a big project. Videographers, don't underestimate your talent. You guys need to be charging for that, okay? Now, clients, hear me out when I say this to these videographers watching, because their prices aren't always gonna stay the same. So if you like them, continue to book these videographers. Give them business, because even if you don't hire them, they're just still going to get a lot better. And eventually, at some point, they're going to be charging a lot. They're going to be moving on to different things. And you just never know where these videographers are going with their career. And don't be afraid to ask any questions. And embrace it. Embrace it and understand that other videographers in the area might be charging something similar. And, talk to a couple of videographers just to see what they have to say. Get a couple of quotes. You don't need to stick with the first one you go with. Videographers, I know you hate hearing this, but the only way for you to get better is to better your service. You need to be the best at what you do, and that's more than being a creative person. It's being a business person and just being a person, a good genuine person, understanding what the client wants, because at the end of the day, it's business. But just remember, your most important asset is your client, videographers. And clients, don't be afraid to ask questions to these videographers, because it's only going to make them a better business person, a better creative, and who knows, you may end up getting something you really, really like. I'm Christian Newlands. Appreciate you guys checking out this video, and like and subscribe. Please, if you want to see more videos like this. Alright, I'm out.